Hi, it's Dick Smith here. Now, a quick update to the OzEmite situation, because I know many of you have watched it on TV. It's been very frustrating for us. Back in July 1999, I announced that we were going to bring out OzEmite, OzEmite, in competition with Vegemite. I was very excited, and this meant that Vegemite, which was an Australian invention and that everyone thought was Australian, I just found out that it was American, owned by Kraft, and all of the money goes off to the United States, to the immensely wealthy Kraft company in the USA. And if you know, in the USA, they don't even pay typical workers decent money. In the USA, if you work at Walmart, the equivalent of Woolworths, you get about $9 an hour, half what you would be paid here. If you work in the Kraft factory in the United States doing the normal factory type work, you get paid half what people pay in Australia. And so I just think that's wrong, and I thought we'll come out with our own OzEmite. Now, we had great difficulties in coming up with the taste, and we didn't want to bring out a product that wasn't really good. And so let me give you this date. July 99 was when we announced it. Now, in the 2nd of February 2001, nearly 2 years later, a chap called Roger Ramsey of All Natural Foods got in touch with OzBuy. Now, we all know OzBuy, that's the Australian Companies Institute that support Aussie companies, and he said that he was changing the name, and I'll read out the email he sent them. Dear Mr. Pym, Mr. Pym was the manager of OzBuy, from our conversation of yesterday, please be advised of a name change of Dinky Dynamite to OzEmite. So what Roger had decided to do was change his Dinky Dynamite yeast spread to OzEmite. He was spelling it slightly differently, A-U-S-S-I-E. Now, Mr. Pym said, hold on, you can't do that, that's Dick Smith's brand. And Roger Ramsey said, oh, well, I'm going to use his concept because he hasn't yet bought a product on the market, which was true. But fair enough, I mean, nothing to stop him from doing that, but I didn't think it was the right thing. Well, we kept on working on OzEmite, and eventually we got the product out, and we're selling it, and it's selling really well. And of course, the next thing that happens is Roger Ramsey goes to the trademarks people and says, I'm going to apply to have Dick Smith's OzEmite, OZE-mite, struck out. I want to get it removed from the trademark register because Roger Ramsey reckoned that for a 3-year period we didn't actually have a product on the market. But our defence is, as long as we could show that we were working on OzEmite at that time, and in fact we can, we've got the most incredible evidence that we were working on OzEmite all of that time to make sure that we could bring the product out. So we're now in a situation where Roger Ramsey's got an initial decision that our mark should be struck out. We've now got to decide, do we spend the money on going to appeal, which we believe we'll win? Now, we've been told the appeal will cost anything from $100,000 to $200,000. We don't like to spend money that would otherwise go to charities, but what we're going to do is, already people have said they'd like to send in $5 or $10 or $15, and there's a very good chance we'll be able to raise the money for the appeal, and that's what will be part of the decision we make. Do we decide to appeal so we can keep selling OzEmite, OZEmite, or lots of people have said, oh look Dick, change the brand to Dickymite or something like that. My fearful thing is then that by the time we register Dickymite, Roger Ramsey might have gone off and registered something very similar, and the whole thing starts again. By the way, we're not objecting to Roger selling OzEmite, A-U-S-S-I-E, even though he copied our name. We're not objecting. He can go and sell it, and we'll sell our OzEmite. We're both competing with the American Kraft, and we should be able to do that both to try and support Australian farmers. So I'm rather hoping that Roger will agree that he's not going to continue on if we have an appeal and get our name struck off. Thanks for listening.